So we're with the cast of the Jonathan Larson project, starting with George. Do you want to state who you are and what you're doing in the project?
I'm George Salazar, and I'm singing a whole slew of songs.
I'm Andy Mientus, also singing a whole slew of songs.
I'm Krysta Rodriguez, and I'm part of the slew.
I'm Lauren Marcus, and I'm slewing.
Oh man, you took mine. I'm Nick Blaemire, and I'm a co-slewer.
Okay, we're going to start out of the box. I think people say that eyes are the windows to the soul, but I think songs are. So starting with George, what song most describes you and or songs that most describe you?
Jonathan Larson songs?
Or any song?
I'm gonna pick a Jonathan Larson song. I'm gonna say, I just talked about this song, but I'm gonna talk about this song called Piano that we do in the show. There's a line, there's a lyric, "Oh piano, you saved my soul," and it just, I think music is such a saving grace for so many of us, and there's a reason why we all do this, and I think that song kind of really sums up my relationship with art, and
Andy?
I am so stumped, but the first song that came to my head, maybe because of the change in the weather, is Rhiannon.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, Rhiannon.
Witches.
I have no idea. I mean, like the breadth of song. I don't also know how to describe myself.
I'll describe
you.
you
Yeah, thank
in
you.
one. I would say your song is like I Want to Dance with Someone.
Okay, I like
See you
that.
like in a high-waisted jean, kind of
You
getting
mean
your
like right
life.
now?
See?
Got it. I love it. I want to dance with somebody.
I don't know. I'm gonna pick a song from the show that I think encapsulates how my brain works. I'm singing a song called "Hosing the Furniture." I'm not really a futuristic housewife, but I do think my brain has a tendency to go from thing to thing and then work itself up to a level of complete insanity. So you can catch that in the show, and that's a glimpse into my psyche.
I'm gonna pick One of These Days, which is a song I love Jonathan Larson wrote from a musical that was never released called Superbia. And I love it because there's just something very unique about Jonathan's story, and that he was so frustrated by his place in the world while he was writing. There's this really sad but profound irony that we all know him so well, and he never lived to understand what he was going to do to the world. Much like Van Gogh, it's like these great artists are posthumously found, and he's talking about that frustration in these songs in a way that resonates then on these extra levels, and it's really amazing.
Now, what is your relationship with Jonathan Larson, George?
my relationship, I always say that it was like tricky with Jonathan Larson, with Rent, growing up. But my relationship with Jonathan deepened when Nick and I did Tick Tick Boom together a couple years ago.
Which was wonderful.
I feel like I really got to know him on a super personal level, because we had the great fortune of meeting so many of his best friends and champions and supporters who shared so many beautiful insider stories about him and who he was, and I would say that experience was important.
Andy?
My relationship with Jonathan Larson is platonic. As I was raised Catholic, and to me, Jonathan Larson feels like a saint more than any of the saints that I actually was taught about, because I've been really lucky in my career to meet a lot of the people that I looked up to growing up. But obviously, Jonathan Larson is no longer with us, so I never got that opportunity. And he's probably the artist that meant the most to my development growing up as an artist. So to me, he's just this mythic figure, this person that we have all these really personal snapshots of him through these songs, and especially as we've been working from demos that he recorded, in his apartment with a MIDI keyboard, you really get a sense of this person. But still, it's hard for me to imagine him as a person who lived that actually wrote these things, because a song like Seasons of Love just feels like it's always existed. He just pulled it out of the ether. But no, he's a guy that sat down and worked on it and rewrote it. And it's something I still try to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I think we all have a similar starting relationship with him, in that, we are musical theater dorks, and we found something that made us feel a little cooler than, we could still do what we wanted to do, but like also say curse words. And, like, and it was sort of subversive, and it was so interesting to stumble upon something like that at that age, at that point. And I just think that I've always been struck by how young he was, how influential he was at such a young age, which was not, all the other composers were these old men, could compose these lasting shows, and this was somebody who was taking something he was seeing in his life and making it so prevalent that we could not look away from it, and that was a really big influence.
Something I've been thinking about a lot with him recently, we've been listening to a lot of these demos that were made of Jonathan Larson singing, and I've been connected with him so much. I mean, we all do a lot of new musical theater work. We all listen to a lot of demos that sound just like that, and I'm so taken with the idea in like 10 or 20 years that we'll have these demos that we've done, and connecting him to the idea of legacy and the idea that it feels like we're all doing the same thing, and he might not be with us now, but like the spirit of that is very much alive in here, and that's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, I think my answer lives between these, is that I grew up listening to Jonathan's stuff because I thought it was cool and because it was a new thought, and 14 to 17 is when you're developing your understanding of music, and those songs mean something way different to you than the ones that you hear when you get older. And I do think that he is this kind of simultaneous, like, guardian angel, while also being very much living a life that we're very acquainted with, and that had never become more apparent to me than when I was doing Tick Tick Boom with George. I'd always wanted to play Mark and Rent, and I couldn't find a way to do it. It wasn't getting cast as it, and then I got a chance to play the writer of Rent, which ended up being the biggest gift because it reminded me that, like, the reason I wanted to play Mark was like a 14-year-old trying to, like, be the lead in the play, as opposed to what I learned from playing the writer of the play, which is that, like, you have to confront all of these very human failings in yourself in order to transcend them and write something that lasts. And he did that in such a way, and he did that in all of this music that nobody knows, which is crazy too, because, like, what the value of things is not based on how many people know them. It's based on the value that he captures in the 3 to 7 minutes of the song. And he did that. And he did that for us in so many ways, and just continues to be true. It's really a gift that keeps on giving.
And when is the Jonathan Larson project playing at Feinstein's 54 Below?
It's October 9th through the 14th. We have 12 performances, 7 p.m. and 9:45 p.m. every night.
It's true.